everyone, and welcome to Genie. Today we're doing my top 10 favorite board games list. So, since July was my birthday month, I told Kevin I should talk about my favorite board games just because, it's my birthday month, I thought it would make sense. So, yeah, I have 10 favorite board games, and yes, it was very challenging for me to come up with 10 on my list just because I love so many board games, but I picked the ones that I love the most. It doesn't mean that the other games I love less. I love all of them the same. It's just these are my top 10 favorite board games. So let's get to the list. So my number 10 on this list is Ghostbuying Treasure Hunters. This is a game where you play with 4 players to gather out treasure from this haunted house, and you try to collect as many treasure as possibly you can before the place becomes haunted. And Kevin and I demoed this at Gen Con a few years ago, and I just end up loving it, and then we end up getting the game afterwards. We don't have the expansion, the creepy crawl space expansion, but that's what we demoed with the game, and I thought it's a lot of fun. I do like some fun, spooky things in general, so it's not very scary things, but I really like this game. It just became one of my favorites, and I just want to play it any time of year other than Halloween, just because it's not only fun, but I also just love the ghost figures that features in the game because they're so cute. But the haunted, of course, they're not as cute. But yeah, this is my number 10 favorite board game. Coming at number 9 on my list is Isle of Cats. So in this game, you're basically trying to save as many cats as much as you can on this island. So you're trying, it's what's that block game? I keep forgetting what it's called. But you basically just try to fit the cats in your ship as much as you can. And of course, not only you save the cats, but you also collect treasures to get more points in the game, and I love this game not just because I'm a cat person, but I just usually struggle with puzzle games, but Isle of Cats actually has helped me enjoy the game more. Kevin's writing down the name of the game that I was mentioning that this game reminds me of. That's why he made a small appearance. Tetris, that's it. So that's the block game where you try to fit them as much as possible. So yeah, sorry that Kevin made a cameo appearance there, but he was helping me out, so that's the only reason. But yeah, this Isle of Cats is a lot of fun, and I find it funny how the game have the lid be a seat for your cat, just because it's of course it's a cat themed game. So and if I brought that game to my parents' house, oh boy, my cat would love to sit in that lid just because he loves boxes in general. But yeah, this is my number 9 favorite board game. Coming at number 8 on my list is Donuts for Donuts. You're basically collecting as many donuts as much as you can in this game, but this is similar to Shujigo, but this one is with donuts. Each deck represents different set of players, which is really cool because it's they know how the game would work with 2 players, 3 players, etc. And I play this game constantly just because of how awesome this game is, especially when certain donuts have different abilities, and I'm I need to get this donut because of that. And there's some that are oh, I don't want to get it just because of a certain ability. But yeah, and most of the donuts that you collect gives you a certain amount of points, and I just really love this game. And we just got this game a month or 2 ago, and we've been playing it all the time now just because of how quick the game is, and it's a lot of fun. So yeah. Coming at number 7 on my favorite board games list is Toy Story's Obstacles and Adventures. This is similar to Harry Potter, but you're basically playing as different Toy Story characters, and you're trying to collect allies and items and traits to help defeat the situations. I forgot what they're, obstacles, I think that's what they're called. I really love this game. Kevin and I only got up to the first 2 Toy Story films. We actually haven't gone further in that game, but it's a lot of fun, and the reason that it was hard for me to create this list because Toy Story and Harry Potter are have the same mechanics, but Toy Story is a bit different than Harry Potter, obviously. But I just love Toy Story so much that I'm like, I cannot have not mentioned Toy Story on any of my lists. Like, it's my #1 favorite Pixar movie of all time, and I just love that movie ever since I was a kid, and I just always loved Toy Story, even though my favorite out of all 4 of them is the second, and Jesse's my favorite, so yeah, and it's a lot of fun, and I recommend it to anybody who wants to try out a board game, but they're just not sure what to play to start out, and I think Toy Story will be the best one, just because many people know Toy Story, and if people haven't, where have you been? Are you living in under the rock the whole time? But yeah, it's my #7 favorite board game on my list. Coming at #6 on my list is XLibris. So this game, you're basically different librarians, and you're trying to collect as many books as you can, and you have to show them a certain way, and each librarian has different abilities, and I just really love this game. I got this for Christmas a few years ago because my Kevin's family knew that I love to read, and I just love going to bookstores and libraries, so they got me this game, and of course it was on my Christmas list, and Kevin and I did demo this at GenCon. I think it was available for demo a few years ago, but I can't remember, but I really love this game just because not only it has my favorite things about it, but I also really like the dynamics of the game, and I just recommend any bookworms out there, if you want to try out a board game that relates to libraries or any book related, I do recommend XLibris. Coming at #5 on my list is Mysterium. You're basically, one player gets to play as the ghost who's been murdered recently, and then other players plays as sidekicks, and they try to sense who the murderer is, and where the murder takes place, and what was the murder weapon. And it's really a lot of fun. I just love playing the ghost the most, just because I was really good at giving out clues according to Kevin and his dad, so that's why I like playing the ghost all the time. But I know that other people should give a chance to play a ghost. But I just love mystery games in general, just because I'm like, oh, I want to know who done it kind of thing. I never played Clue before I played this game, so it's like, yes, it's Clue, but more in advance. But I never played Clue, so yeah, you probably would be like, why haven't you played Clue? I'm like, I don't know. My family just weren't into Clue as one of the OG games, but after playing this game, I was like, yeah, I probably would like this game better than Clue if I played Clue before playing this. But yeah, it's one of my favorite mystery games, and I know there's more out there that I probably like, but this is the one that has like just been my top favorite. Coming at #4 on my list is Disney's Villainous. You're basically playing as different Disney villains to try to complete a villain's goal that they never achieved in the movies, but you're going against other Disney villains to try to stop them from reaching their goal. I love this game so much, and then the reason this list was so hard for me just because I'm trying not to mention so many Disney board games on my list, just because I'm a big Disney fan and I just love all of them. But like one of the ones I mentioned previously, Villainous is actually becoming one of my favorite Disney games, just because I get to play as my favorite Disney villains and try to defeat my opponents, and it's a lot of fun. And I love playing as Captain Hook. I love playing as Prince John, and I know I'm still trying to figure out how to win as Maleficent, Queen of Hearts, Gaston, who's my favorite villain, and I still haven't won as him from the recent Villainous expansion. And I also have played as the Evil Queen. I still have not won as her yet. And, oh gosh, what was another one? Mother Gothel. I still haven't won as her. So, yes, I do have favorite villains, but I always want to try to play as other Disney villains just because it's a lot of fun. And in my opinion, and so far from all the ones that I've played, Prince John has been the easiest to play just because it's like you're just collecting power. So, yeah, because he's all about money. So, yeah, that's why I think he's the easiest. But I do still love Captain Hook just because he's another favorite Disney villain of mine from my #1 favorite Disney movie, Peter Pan. And I've just been a Peter Pan fan ever since I was a kid. And I just love Captain Hook as a villain. But Gastone is just my favorite. And I'm glad that he came out in the newest expansion for Disney's villains. And we have done for all the games that's on my list, if we have how to play videos on, we'll link in the description down below so you guys can check out the whole playlist or just the how to play videos in general. But yeah, I just love playing Disney villains, and I play it with my family, and we played it with Kevin's family, and it's a lot of fun. Coming at number 3 on my list is Elder Sign. You're basically playing as different groups of characters to try to collect as many Elder Signs as you can before the Agent 1 wakes up. And this is actually the first board game I ever played with Kevin, and that was the first one that he taught me, so I thought I'd give it a try, and that was the first board game that I fell back and loved back into playing board games, because my family and I did play board games before, but we just kind of stopped for 10 plus years just because no one has touched them. And then when Kevin and I first started dating, I started playing board games with them, and then I told my family we should play some board games that he has, and then we're back into playing board games again, which it makes me happy just because I think playing board games with your loved ones is just one of the best things, because you're spending time with your family other than just being competitive with each other, see who's the best player on which game. But I still love playing Elder Sign, and I played most of the expansions, and I don't know which one's my favorite because I only played all of them once. So, yeah, Elder Sign is my number 3 favorite board game. Coming number 2 on this list is Ticket to Ride, but more specifically with the U.S. map. And this is basically you're trying to complete as many routes as you can on the map, and with all the trains, and I know with other Ticket to Ride games, there has been using taxis, buses, and carriages, I think. They've been expanding to other than trains, which is kind of fun, and I know that many people are worried that Ticket to Ride is going to be like a next Monopoly game, but I still love playing Ticket to Ride overall just because it's one of my favorites, and I honestly, if it weren't for Kevin and his dad teaching me how to play this game, I probably wouldn't have touched it, but it's one of the ones that I honestly love playing all the time, and yeah, it is one of my favorite board games. And finally, my number 1 favorite board game is probably no surprise to some of you, but it's probably a surprise to some of you, but my number 1 favorite board game is Quest for the Antidote. Basically, everyone is started out all poisoned, and they're on a race to collect ingredients to create an antidote to the poison, or else they're dead. And ever since Kevin and I played the win a box tournament of that game, and I just really enjoyed it. I just really like the race, race it against time element to that game, and also I like how each time you play it, you don't end up getting the same ingredients every time. And I also love the meddling cards just because they make me laugh every time. And I was like, take that, and they're like, oh no! I really like a lot of meddling cards. I can't think of the one on top of my head that is my favorite, but I love Quest for the Antidote so much, and I just love the story elements onto that game, especially when everybody starts out poison, and then he had to find all the ingredients for the antidote before they ran out of breath. And Kevin and I actually have played a quest for the antidote tournament at Gen Con 2 years ago, and we met the guy himself who created the game, and we were like, who knows who we are? And then we honestly forgot who he was, and he's a big fan of our channel, so yeah. We talked the game right after we got it from Gen Con, my first trip 4 years ago, and I was like, I love this game so much, and yeah, it is my favorite board game of all time, and I know that there are many more board games out there that are my favorite, but all 10 of these lists are my favorite, especially Quest for Antidote as my #1 favorite. So that's all for my top 10 favorite board games list, and I have to say this one more time just because, yes, it was very hard to create a top 10 list, but I'm pretty sure that Kevin and I might do another top 10 favorite board games list in the future on his channel just because we love so many. And also, if you have favorite top 10 board games lists, let us know in the comments down below so we can talk about our favorite board games. And also, don't forget to hit the subscribe button and click the bell icon so you notified when we post new videos just like this, or and don't miss any how to play, gameplay, and unboxing videos, etc. on our channel. And also don't forget to follow on our social media like Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. And also if you want to follow us on Games Corner as well, we'll have all the links down below. And don't be on the lookout for our next video, like I mentioned before. But until then, thanks for the views.